Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've done this I think once in the past before, but I haven't done it in a while. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is going on to the Learn CSGO subreddit where people ask questions about the game, they want to get better, blah blah blah, and I'm going to go through and answer some of these questions because most of them are pretty good questions and they apply to a lot of people. So our first question comes from the user Pravik, and he asks how to evaluate a position or make decisions. Now, he talks about chess for a little bit and talking about how you can determine if your position is good or not in chess, blah, blah, blah. He said, obviously, I know that CS is much more of a complex game with many more variables, but I was wondering if you guys could provide me with some general tips as to how to evaluate a position and make decisions. So in Counter-Strike, there's no real way to evaluate a position because the game is constantly going on, right? You can't just take a pause in the middle of a round to really look at what's going on. Everything's happening in real time. You don't have that kind of time. So what you have to do is get really good at getting that experience of developing pattern recognition and using a process of elimination to determine where people are, and then knowing if you can get away with some sort of info play or push through a smoke or something like that. You have to develop a really good knack for getting all the information you possibly can and then using that information to your advantage throughout the round. So if you hear, let's say you're in B-Apps Mirage on a default, and you hear the guy run up cat, just that simple information, you know that he's up cat. If you have teammates fighting mid, then he's probably going to stay up cat. But if you don't have teammates fighting mid, he might just fall back. But you have a 1v1 on B site for that period of time. Whether he stays up cat, whether he falls off, it's unknown. It really depends on a lot of other variables. But just from that basic information, you know that you have a one-on-one on site. Or let's say you're in Palace, defaulting again. You got some guys coming out ramp and connector and all that, and you know that there's a guy top stairs or near stairs because he shot at some of your teammates, and you hear that, you hear the guy reload default. You now know that jungle's probably clear. You don't have to worry about an opera there, and you don't have to worry about an opera in CT either, right? Because the CT player is now up to default. So all you have to do is swing out, kill the default guy, and then worry about the stairs guy, because stairs guy's probably worried about Con. He's probably not just holding Palace. So just using the information that you're given and understanding that although, yes, Counter-Strike is somewhat like chess, kinda, you can't just pause mid-round. You have to do all of this on the run, on the move, live, and you just have to do it over and over and over again to get good at it, right? You can't just take that hands-off approach of like, hey, when I get to that, I'll think about it when it happens. No, you have to think about it beforehand. You have to have a plan going into situations. Our next question comes from Noobzilla. The title of it is Hand-to-Eye Coordination and Focus. What are the best ways in-game and some tools online to work on these two aspects? I'm really having a hard time staying focused and in general to pick targets up and process things I see pretty slow. So the only real response to these kind of mechanical questions is just pour hours into the game. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're practicing correctly, you're not wasting your time while in-game, and I've made videos on that prior, but with like hand-eye coordination, that's just as simple as pouring hours into the game, getting into aimbots, getting into deathmatch, doing whatever you can to get more used to moving the mouse to where you want it to move. Also, finding the proper sensitivity helps you out. I've made a video on that prior, but overall, there's nothing you can really do for hand-eye coordination besides repetition. Now, focus is a little bit different. It really depends on how you're becoming unfocused. What are you thinking about that's distracting you? Are you thinking about something Counter-Strike related? Are you worrying about your teammates? Or are you just getting bored and thinking about something outside of the game? Now, if you're thinking about something inside of the game rather than what you're looking at, let's say you're holding an angle and you're glancing at radar to make sure that your teammates are doing the right thing, that comes down to maybe you should trust your teammates more and focus on your own gameplay. But if you're thinking about something outside of the game, well, maybe the angle you're holding is just that boring that, you start daydreaming mid-round. Is the angle actually proper? Can you actually expect somebody to be at that angle? Should you push up? are you getting information that you don't know? As in, like, you know, you hear that there's 4 people in mid, but you don't realize that, hey, that means you can push through this angle or something like that, and instead you're just holding it and wasting your own time when you could go get some more info. So it really depends on how you're lacking focus when it comes to holding angles, and the whole process things slowly. That, again, repetition, doing it over and over again, will make it a lot easier to make the quick decisions when something actually happens because you've seen it before. So our last question comes from Bry678, and it's titled Reaction Time. Pretty simple question. What are some good exercises to help with your reaction time? I feel like everyone kills me before I do. And before I answer that question, he might want to reword that little last bit of it, where it implies that people are killing him before he kills himself. Please, YouTube, be nice to me. I'm just pointing out the obvious. So, reaction time, I feel like, is pretty overrated. Unless you're opping and the situation, the environment is absolutely perfect. There's no conditions, right? No outside variables. Reaction time really is not important. What's way more important than reaction time and just like straight training on the Human Benchmark website, right, is crosshair placement and anticipation. If your crosshair placement is very good and you're always at head level, it doesn't matter if the person that swings out has better reaction time than you. If all you have to do is click the mouse 1 on your mouse, you're going to get the kill, right? If they have to flick up to your head, but all you have to do is just click, it's simple, right? It's always going to go in your favor. Now, anticipation really helps with crosshair placement. You can have great crosshair placement, but really never expect for somebody to be there. I'm sure that everybody at some point has encountered the whole thing where you're clearing out all the angles, but you're really not expecting to have somebody play those angles. And so you clear an angle, you swing your mouse back, and there was actually a guy there. And then you have to flick back because you're like, oh, whoa, there was actually a person there. And then they get the kill on you because you're not really anticipating somebody to be there. Now, there's some instances where it's like, wow, I really didn't anticipate them to play there. Like, that's crazy. I had the info of where the other 2 players were. I didn't know they put 3 on site. That's, you know, it's going to happen sometimes. You're just going to get caught off guard. But in situations where you don't have that kind of info and you're just going through the motions, right, what do you expect to happen? Right? Not everything is going to always work out in your favor. You always have to anticipate somebody to be around that corner. And that game sense plays a role in that. Really having experience in the game plays a role in that, knowing what's going to happen, or being able to read different situations properly, understand the patterns. But just basic reaction time, it does not matter unless it, like, there are instances where it does matter, like I was saying with the op, maybe both of you peek the angle at the same time, both your crosshair placements are fine, right? And it just comes down to who shoots faster. But even then, there's latency, there's ping, there's loss, there's a lot of other things going on. There's the equipment that you have, the peripherals, what refresh rate your monitor is, what kind of FPS you're getting, you know, it really depends. Do you have a good mouse? Is the mouse delay, you know, there's so many other things going on that just focusing on reaction time is such a waste of time, you know, when there's so many other things to focus on that are so much better and so much more important, so much more crucial. Learning smokes, right? Learning angles. So when you swing out wide, you actually know what you're about to be looking at. Learning commonly played spots, not so you can play them, but so when you swing out, you know where people are most likely playing, right? There's a whole plethora of different things that you can focus on rather than reaction time, and to just dumb something down as, oh, I'm losing a lot of fights, so it must be my reaction time, is very short-sighted. So if you guys enjoyed this kind of video, I will make more. Please leave a comment below letting me know. If you didn't, don't comment. I don't want to know. I don't take criticism well. If you want your demo reviewed by me talking about criticism, please feel free to click the join button on the channel page. It doesn't automatically enroll you, but you can see all the different membership tiers where I can review half a demo, a full demo, give you coaching. There's a whole lot of options on there, so just click the join button on the channel page. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on Steam, Discord, whatever. All my stuff is in the description. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.